Welcome back, everyone. It's Thursday, April 23rd, and we're back online. So today's lesson or session will involve a number of things. Most of it is review, of course, because the basics are the most important thing you can practice. So before we do that, we'll warm up a little bit. So you can reach up and stretch and stand on your toes. If you're in a low ceiling room like this, you might be able to grab the ceiling, which makes you feel very tall and powerful, I suppose. So stretch your arms back like this, and roll your shoulders and arms backwards and then forwards. And I think most of you know how to do this opposite hand arm roll rotation, but if you don't, practice it and reverse it. It's good for your brain to deal with the opposite motions. If you're not sure one way to do it is like a crocodile, where you slap your hands together and bring them around. Small thing, kind of silly, but sort of good. Roll your neck. Stretch your arm across, both ways, behind your head. Keep yourself very loose and relaxed. Rotate around. Engage your core by tightening your ab muscles. And reverse it. Now we'll do 10 frog jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Squat down for a moment. And up, assume the lunge position. Keeping your shoulders over your hips. Push down your rear hip, stretch that. And pivot and reverse. And pivot again, somewhat lower. And reverse. And once more, nice and low, go down the runner stretch where you put your front shoulder next to your front knee. Stretch that and reverse that. So you're going to put your legs in an A position and hang down and feel the back of your thighs, your hamstring stretching. And then bring your feet closer together and hang and see how far you can go. Feel your legs stretch, but not, of course, to the point of pain. And do some high kicks. And get on guard and do some of these leg pivots, moving back and forth, picking up your knees. This should tire you out a little bit. Good. Relax, wiggle your fingers. Remember, tension is the enemy of performance. Always want to be loose and relaxed, whether it's stage performance or athletic performance, speech, whatever. So, take your glove and your weapon. I hope you've managed to create some kind of pad or target. I mentioned old pillows or a collection of rags in a bag attached to a wall or a pole or something in your house if possible, even outside if possible. If not, you'll just have to hit specific air molecules, and that should do the trick. So again, extension distance, these are all things you've done, and some of you have fenced for a little longer than others, but you always have to go back to the basics. Even the top pros in sports do that. So you're on guard from an extension distance, and you want to explode with your extension, making sure that your blade makes a nice rainbow. Not too much, but about like that. And all you're really doing is lifting your elbow, and as that goes forward, your hand naturally rises a little bit after it hits. So in the end, your hand should be higher than your point a little bit. Otherwise, your point will go off target and you won't hit. So just from extension distance, extending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Make sure you've kept about a hand's breadth between your elbow and your rib cage. Don't tuck it back like this. 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now from advanced distance, you will advance and extend at the same time. Your point should land before your rear foot has finished the advance. Maybe you can hear my point when it lands on this target. See if you can hear that before my rear foot lands. This gives you a sense of when to attack or extend your arm because you have a sense of how close you are. One more. Again, notice when I do that, we talk about a supine hand position. And that is where, technically supine is palm up. Modern fencing, you want your thumb about the 1 o'clock position on a clock. So your hand is turned slightly this way. Lunge distance, again, you want your point landing before your front foot lands. See if you can hear it. Very close, virtually at the same time. Remember to carry your weapon nice and loose. And then stop for a moment. Very, very classical traditional fencing has this as an extension, then a lunge. And that's not a bad way to learn when you first start, but in modern fencing it's outdated. So you want extending, you want about 3/4 of an extension and then your lunge. 3/4 kick and lunge. Do it with me. 3/4 and kick. 3/4 and kick. 3/4 and kick. 3/4 and kick. 3/4. If you have a target, see if you can hit the same place on the target every time. That's called point control. And again, you want your point landing before your foot. All right, rest. Now we'll go to the advanced lunges we've often done. Remember, an advanced lunge is an acceleration. You don't want the same tempo, advance and lunge. It's essentially slow, fast, or medium, fast. Medium, fast. You change the tempo. In that one moment where you're going medium tempo, already your opponent perceives that and has a sense of what the rhythm is, so you surprise her by changing it and accelerating. So we're going to do slow, fast, advanced lunges. On guard, go. Slow, fast, recover, retreat. 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 One more. Slow, fast, recover, retreat. Good, rest. Let's try this on the non-dominant side. If you have a pistol grip foil, that's just the way it goes. You have to hold it awkwardly. But it's always good, as I've told you 100 times, to try things from the opposite side. It's good for your brain, really adjust things. So we'll do 7 or 8 of these advanced lunges with our non-dominant hand. Ready? Slow, fast, recover, retreat. Slow, fast. And one more. Good. And the final attack that we'll do after we rest a moment is the balestra. You remember the word balestra means, by definition, a jump followed by a lunge. We tend to say balestra lunge, which is redundant, but that's all right. A balestra jump is like you have claws on your feet, you're grabbing something and instantly releasing. So the rhythm is this. Instead of hearing this sound, which is an advanced lunge, instead of this, you hear this. That's a jump lunge. If you can see my feet in slow motion, I'm jumping and I'm landing. And the moment I land, my front foot's already leaving the ground. It's like an electrical impulse. I'm exaggerating my foot for Of course, you wouldn't lunge like this, but the point is your foot comes off the ground like you've just stepped on an electric metal plate and been shocked. Boom! So we'll do 10 balestra lunges, jump lunge. This is meant for when you're just a little bit out of distance from your opponent and you want a violent surprise, as opposed to an advanced lunge, which is a little more setup. I'm going to go here and then maybe change my line or go to a different part of the target. The balestra is all power. Ready? Go. Jump lunge. Recover, retreat. Remember, when you're jumping forward mostly. A little bit in the air, mostly forward. Go. Jump lunge. Jump lunge. Jump lunge. Jump lunge. Let's stop for a moment. And let's do just the jump. It's a little bit tricky. Anyone can jump like this or like this, but this is kind of an artificial situation where you're pushing off your rear leg and you still want to land at the same time. So do just the jump, not the lunge, just the jump. Ready? Jump. 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 Notice my foot comes up like this, my toe first, not like a horse or a ballerina. My leg is flexed, my toe is up. Ready? Jump. 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 Now with the lunge. Ready? Go. Lunge. Recover. Retreat. 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 Two more. Lunge. Recover. Retreat. Lunge. Recover. Retreat. And rest. I'm going to cut this video off right here and I'll come back for another 15 minutes or so.